Like one of the main issues that I talked about was the issue of like nuclear disarmament. For one thing, the New START treaty is set to expire sometime within the next 4 years, and if that were to expire, there would be no arms control treaty standing between Russia and the US.
Mhm.
I believe that presents a risk of causing arms racing since things like the right to verify and the right to send inspectors to put those provisions in that treaty are no longer going to be there. So that's why I think the president during the next term has to commit to extending New START and negotiating new treaties.
The thing about this election is that you can't really be a single issue voter anymore. There are so many important issues, and things are being attacked at all these different levels and from everywhere. And so I think one of the most important issues to me is foreign policy because I'm seeing right now a huge change in American foreign policy and a complete shift in the direction we're going since the Obama administration into this like new more hard power focused, less soft power focused thing. But there are so many issues, like in the Supreme Court, for example, there are so many subsections within that issue. You have LGBTQ plus rights, you have women's rights, you have healthcare. There are so many important things that are going on right now. It's very hard to really become a single issue voter.
The most important would probably be like COVID, just because I think like for the past 6 months, it's like what's affected me the most. And I think that like whoever enters the office in January needs to make sure that like the second wave, whenever that will be, isn't severe. And then you make sure that like once a vaccine comes out, that like everyone has access, like minimal barriers for purchasing.
I just wanted to sort of elaborate on how the coronavirus is affecting the election. Before this election, the way we view elections is very much, do we want a Democratic president or a Republican president? And I think the coronavirus is changing that because now we sort of look at it more on how are they going to deal with the coronavirus, and it's less about which political party they're part of and more about the person and their ability to deal with certain conflicts.
I mean, pretty much with any issue, I'd argue, you can always you can always contact Congress members and even local members. Also, again, talking about earlier how maybe most people just don't think about it. Kind of just talking about it is a good method to just like get more people thinking about it and maybe get more people on your side. I think those two are both good options.
I think as Harker students, what you can do is you can first get educated yourself, right? It's not helpful to just talk about things you are not personally knowledgeable about, and it's very hard to be as knowledgeable as you need to be on a lot of issues to talk about them. Which is why I'm not going into like huge depth about all these issues. It's because it's very hard to gain knowledge about everything that you need to really fully back a candidate or fully give an opinion. And so I think it's important that we as Harker students get information from not just one source, but from many sources and really think critically about what we're hearing and what is influencing the language of that information. And so I think the next step after that is just get people to vote. I think that's really the only way we as not eligible voters can really, well, most of us not eligible voters can influence the election.
I think that like as Harvard students, for like if first of all if you're of voting age, go out and vote. That doesn't apply to the majority of us, but I guess just to hold conversations about the issues that are important to us, keeping these issues relevant and in conversation. I think like journalism through like these kind of like reports is doing a great job. Once you stop talking about it, I think it often leaves the minds of many people in the community.